Oh, goodness. What chaos do we bring you today? Breaking news on today's podcast episode. For our listener friends on audio only, this video shows VP and Prez being removed from the White House Correspondents' dinner along with other top governmental officials. We're coming at you today with breaking news. Totally threw out our episode for today. This is episode 117. We had another episode we were going to talk about. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Why are you so confused?
I'm not confused. I know what you're talking about. We were going to tell you about Epic, and we're still going to do that. It will just be the next episode.
Yes, this is episode 117 on the Manny and Sean Experience. And my goodness, we arose to the dire news of another assassination attempt.
Dire? Sure. Stage? Question mark.
Question mark indeed. The video you just saw was the tense moments as an active shooter sprinted past security at the Hilton, I believe, Hilton Convention Center in D.C., where they were holding the White House Correspondents' dinner, which is a yearly event that's held, and Trump has avoided for many years because he has a small ego and doesn't like to be made fun of.
Yeah, he can't take a joke. He can sure dish them out, but he sure can't take them.
He sure cannot. So we could not miss an opportunity to talk about this attack on our democracy.
That's a bit much, but sure.
That was sarcasm, folks. Yeah, my name is Manny. We welcome you back to the Manny and Sean Experience. Thank you for joining us. This episode will be about, as we said, the White House Correspondent Dinner, but we'll also be talking about a few other things, so stick around with us. How are you doing, Sean, before we jump into this breaking news?
I am doing well. It's been a pretty good week, all things considered, and a good weekend. So I'm doing well. How are you?
It's been a lovely weekend. Thank you so much. I'm doing very well. We did go check out some new spots, as we always do here, because we're trying to make living in Florida bearable.
But yes, it's been a good week. And
sorry, I'm opening up my bottle. When I bought this bottle, I didn't think about the podcast.
Yes.
It's called a Hydroflax. Wait.
Flask.
Anyways, we hope all of you are doing well out there, taking care of each other. But yes, we couldn't miss the opportunity to talk about the recent happenings at the White House Correspondent Dinner, where as soon as I saw the first video, I said, was this staged?
Yeah, and I feel like all the comments of the YouTube and TikToks and threads have been the same. Like, every time there is an attempt on this man's life, quote unquote, we have to ask ourselves, is this real or is it fake? Which we shouldn't have to do that. But our current climate, political climate, our current administration,
regime,
sure, all of that has made people question the things that go on, if they are real or if they are fake, because we live in a world, one, where AI is just making it very hard to believe anything that you see. But the fact that Trump has now been attempted assassinated 3 times, and the other 2 times have kind of been wiped away. You don't hear anything about those people that were arrested. You don't really hear anything else about it. And it's very weird. And both of those circumstances also were very strange.
Right.
It just seems like security, which you would think the most important person, I hate saying this about him, it's not about him. It's about the office.
It's about the office of the president.
Highest held office in government is not as secure as you think it is.
It is not just the president that was there, the vice president, the secretary of state, the
was Kash Patel there?
Kash Patel was there. I don't know what he does. He does something
the
at
director of FBI.
No, him. He's a director, whatever. He looks scared every time I see him. The Department of Defense, the Secretary of Defense was there. Like everybody that is in power that is usually highly protected in our country
was in one room.
And it's one of those very rare occasions where so many high officials are in the same room. Let's get into this because it is very interesting how it happened. You said you had some information on the alleged person, but just to recap it, it seems like the party was just getting started. It seems like everybody was already in the room. Mm-hmm. And a unidentified gentleman at that point sprints in like Usain Bolt.
We saw from the video that President Trump posted on Truth Social that there you see it there on your screen. It's very blurry, it's not high quality, but it shows the suspect sprinting through that security checkpoint, blowing past those officers. There it is right there. And then they crouch into a prone position and begin firing. But obviously they don't hit him. But somebody managed to tackle him. We don't see that on the screen. And so
into the hotel because he was running quite quickly. As somebody said on YouTube, it was like because the video they show is in black and white, and you can see him run into things. Someone was like, "That looked like something out of Paranormal Activity."
It did. It didn't seem real in that particular video that we saw, but. Yeah. Apparently, he came into the room with multiple weapons. So this happened about around 8:40 p.m. on April 25th, Saturday, where he bypassed. I don't know about bypassing. It looked like he just straight up ran past so the security checkpoint near the ballroom, armed with a shotgun, a handgun, and knives. He fired at least one shot near the screening area before being apprehended by Secret Service and local police. Now, much like that first assassination attempt on Trump, there's a lot of loose ends here. And much like that first incident still has loose ends 2 years later, this one just, like, we were in a room of journalists that obviously have cameras rolling, report the news all the time. They were going to get this news from 10,000 different angles.
Yeah.
And this press secretary made some interesting comments prior to this event starting.
And that's another reason why people are like, is this staged?
Yeah.
Was that a wink, wink kind of thing?
Yeah, let's run that video real quick.
Is ready to rumble. I will tell you, this speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room.
I mean, she said shots fired. Now, I know people tend to say that quote in a comedic way, like shots fired, like he was going to go in on some people in that room.
Or some people were going to go in here.
Right. So we can obviously use that as an excuse to it, but choice words from somebody who is the nation's top respondent to the news of our country.
Seemed very weird or coincidental to use those exact words.
And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but and then the way the journalist turns around and goes, now, I'm going to also embed another little clip here. I think I told you about this. A journalist called into Fox News.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and was talking. Well, let me just play this.
I want to just quickly tell you, I was sitting next to Caroline Levitt, the press secretary's husband. He was one of our guests. He was seated right next to me, and right as the dinner was starting, the national anthem happened, and then he kind of leaned over and said, I watched you on TV, you do a great job. You need to be very safe. And he was just very serious when he said that to me. And he kind of looked around the room and he said, there are some
Sounds like we lost Aisha's phone there. And this happens, by the way, especially when you have so many people attempting to utilize the same cell service.
So, yeah, so you can see there, she was saying that the husband of the press secretary was telling her to be safe or secure, which, again, not a conspiracy theorist, but why are we talking in these types of phrases? Like, who goes to a place and like, we just really need to be more safe and secure?
There's a lot of issues. And again, not all of these things make you not believe what happened is real. I know the person that did it is a real person, and we will get to that. But these things start to add up.
It does start to add up, and it starts to make you question. And unlike the first assassination attempt, I think there was more people on board with Trump and what happened. It was just mostly they were blaming the left and liberals for being not kind to I think he was running for president at that point. 45. We'll call him 45 at that time, I think.
At the first assassination? Yeah, he was running.
So he was 45 back then. So I think more people were on board with that. The second one happened at a golf course. I don't even know if that was real at this point because it happened and we never talked about it again.
My thing is just the lack of security, right? So they had this event at a hotel.
That has been happening for years.
And you would think that since the president is going to be here and other high-ranking administration officials are going to be in one building, that
your government
security
in that room
would be heightened. Like you would have snipers on the roof, snipers across the way, security at the entrance of the hotel. But no, the only security was at the entrance of the ballroom.
I will say that's the only security we saw on the videos we've been able to see. So we don't know that.
Another thing you sent me, the link that you sent me not too long ago, said that the security was just at the
security checkpoint. Oh, yes, I did. Sorry. I sent so many things this morning. Sorry.
So yes, what we were saying when we first heard this is like, why wasn't there security checking people as they were coming into the hotel and not just at the ballroom? Because that would make sense. I know it's a hotel and you probably have, I don't know if they shut it down to regular guests and is maybe just press and whatever staying at the hotel. But either way, would you not want to check everybody at the door?
I just go back to when we went to see President Obama speak in Ybor here in Tampa. It was an outside event, and the amount of police on those streets was crazy. Like they had the AR-15s out. There was a cop maybe every couple, and this was just in the line to get into the actual event. Once we got to the event, there was security there where we had to like take everything out, blah, blah, blah. But this correspondent dinner, I'm like, not only did you, I guess when we went to see, he was president at that time too, but I'm like, we're talking about probably the top 5 government officials are in the same room. And we also saw a video of security where the metal detectors were just running red and green and people were just walking in. Like nobody was like stopping anybody. It looked like pandemonium actually getting into the actual event.
Everything just seems very lax. Right. And again, be it 47, 46, whatever the case may be, the office of the president, this is the highest person in our government. Like you would think security measures would be through the roof for wherever he was going to be. And I just don't understand how this man got in with a shotgun, a handgun, and knives. And like the only checkpoint that he really had to get through was right before getting into the room.
Look, security was so lax at this point that it caught them off guard that somebody was buzzing through the building.
It was like 8 or 10 of them in that spot. And this man like road running with zigzag zoom.
And not to mention, like, again, I'll go back to the President Obama event. Almost every officer we saw had AR-15s. These officers at these security checkpoints had handguns. I go to the airport, I see people with AR-15s. Again, I am talking about top officials of the United States government in one room under one building, and y'all had handguns in your hand. Now, I'm not a proponent of AR-15s at all, but like it just felt very lax from the gate. I would have assumed there was undercover police officers at every corner of this hotel, yada yada yada. The actual happenings of being evacuated again of the government officials, you saw it at the opening of this podcast. Vance was actually escorted off the stage first, very abruptly, which is what I would have expected of the pullout of the president first.
Right. Vance was clearly taken out of his seat and then taken backstage, and Trump was still there.
One guy pulled his seat all the way back and pulled his ass out. Trump had 65 people on him. It took maybe an extra 60 seconds after Vance was escorted out. Then the guys with the guns come out, can't get over the table. I'm just like, you guys look like you're unprepared. And I'm like,
looked like a Saturday Night Live skit.
It looked like a Saturday Night Live skit. And I'm just like, are we being punked again? This is why I am just like, is this real? Did this real? Like, I know it happened, but was it staged? Is the question here, because everything felt so slow motion. Like it felt like somebody didn't give them the cue to go.
And the thing that,
and then Trump fell on the floor, y'all.
Yeah, he fell, and that was hilarious. And no one died, so I can make fun of this. The other thing that gets me is like there are multiple shots of people in the audience, and some of them are ducking and whatever, and then some of them are just going about their life and eating their food and drinking their wine. And I was like, wait a minute.
They caught one correspondent. He was just there like, I've been waiting for this dessert all night.
He was looking around, and it was the Secret Service was still on stage, and I feel like they were just like pointing their guns, and he was just eating his mashed potatoes or whatever. And I'm like, girl, is it not serious? I guess not.
I guess it was not that serious to him.
Oh,
it is just very, in this day and age, and the way this administration has operated, it's kind of like the boy who cried wolf.
Yeah.
I just feel like we're in a place where like, can we believe this? And scouring social this morning, I'm like, the tone from his first assassination attempt to now is very, very different. Like people genuinely do not believe this was a true happening.
Everybody in the comments was like, well,
I just got engaged.
Or somebody said, I walk my goldfish and I'm exhausted. And that made me chuckle. It's just like the first attempt when he was running for president. People question that because one, the slow response from Secret Service. Two, everybody was like, your ear looks fine. Afterwards,
right, and he was
wearing that damn bandage forever. And when that bandage came off, he was like,
he magically healed.
I'm sorry, did something happen?
Well, remember, he's Jesus.
Shut up. And then, it was just like we didn't believe it. It seemed every time that these things happen, it seems like it's to garner sympathy for him, or it is a distraction from something else that is going horribly wrong. And what is currently going horribly wrong in this country? The Iran war.
Mm-hmm.
Gas prices are up.
Groceries.
Everything is up. Companies
the economy is not. He measures the economy through the stock market, which is not reality of the world.
It is not reality of the
world.
It
may be good for investors and the world, but the real economy lies within the people. The people are not spending money. The people don't have disposable income. So this is what we're all focusing on in the media right now. And then what better way than to distract the media than to now spend the next month talking about this?
Yeah. So every time something happens to this man or something is going wrong, I just feel like there's a distraction that happens, that pops up, and then everybody, all the news outlets are focused on that. And we have steered away from the other thing that was happening.
Right.
Whether that was his felony conviction, whether that was the Epstein files, whether that is the Iran war, you know, there's always...
Well, the war was a distraction from the Epstein files.
Well, now we need a distraction from the distraction, and now we got one.
I'm just like, how do we keep track of all these distractions?
So let me tell you about the shooter.
Okay.
His name is Cole Thomas Allen.
Is he an immigrant?
He is not an immigrant.
Not
he
an
is
immigrant.
31 years old. He is from Torrance, California, which we watched a clip of the mayor of Torrance, who was like, this ain't got nothing to do with Torrance. Torrance is a great place to live. Come visit us sometime.
Torrance, he was like, you will not disrespect our good name here.
He was going in. He was like, this ain't got nothing to do with
He
us.
didn't even care what happened at the
He
dinner.
didn't say nothing about it.
He's just like, this dinner, y'all, you can come on down. It's Torrance. Get you a tour.
It'll be fine. So he is a tutor and a computer programmer. He has reported work for several years at C2 Education, and he was previously honored as Teacher of the Month.
And he's highly educated.
He is. He has a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from Caltech, and his online presence indicates that he was a game developer who had published a chemistry-based game, which was a top-down space-themed shooter.
So, I mean, the narrative here will not be that it was an immigrant or a trans person, or a gay person, or, you know, an illegal. This is squarely a U.S. citizen that decided to do this for whatever reason, or he was contracted.
Now, according to this, the motive, he left behind a manifesto in which he referred to himself as a friendly federal assassin.
Oh.
And outlined plans to target administration officials. And what better place if they're all in one place, in one room?
I mean, it is one of the rare opportunities that exist in our world that everybody's in the same room. I just really have this. It's really difficult for me to stomach this. Either Secret Service is untrained.
I mean, that was
underdeveloped.
That was a big hoo-ha at the first attempt because people were very much like, Secret Service, what are you doing?
That's the only two things I can put a picture on. One, our security really is that bad against top level officials, or this was a complete hoax where everyone but the journalists in that room were in on it. And that was something I saw as well. Like, there was a journalist on CNN. He was yakking because he was like mad that people aren't believing that this was real. And I'm like, sir, just because nobody gave you the memo that this was going to be happening doesn't mean that it was real.
You can't fault people for questioning. Like, again, like I said at the beginning of this, you have to question everything just because of the way that things have been run by this administration.
And when I think of security at this level, I would think that they are on it the entire time, like scouring, looking, observing, ready to take action when needed. And how it's felt is in these attempts that have happened to Trump is that, again, either our top national security for our government officials sucks, or we have a low production team that doesn't know how to pull off a hoax where Americans can believe it. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. I'm not trying to create this podcast to be a conspiracy theorist podcast. There's been so many lies and disregards by this administration that it is hard for me to sit here and believe that this wasn't staged. And looking at how slow it just develops, like, I don't understand. I thought after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, the Secret Service would have been better in protecting. Like, I would expect the moment something happened, actually, that shooter should have probably never gotten into the vicinity of where.
That is the point.
Like, not only did he get into the building, which I guess I understand if the hospital, not the hospital, if the hotel is still operating to hotel guests. I get it. But at
don't.
the end of the day, like, if you see somebody coming in with an assault rifle that don't look like a cop, I expect there to be I keep calling them unmarked, but undercover cops everywhere. Like, y'all put one on a plane. How the hell did this man get around, buzz around, not walk, zoom by like Usain Bolt again through security, and then security kind of look up like, oh, there's somebody there with a gun, and then they just start like doing, like, it looked like those video game people with the guns, like they're bouncing up and down. That's what it looked like, and I was just like, is this really America at this point?
I think the other thing is, like you said earlier, not on the podcast but outside of it, it is basically the boy that cried wolf syndrome, where it's like, okay, so this is the third attempt on Trump. The first time we were a little sketchy about it, like we kind of believed it, but then we saw your ear and we were like, what? And then the golf course thing happened, and then nothing really went anywhere with that. We didn't really get any updates or really hear anything much about that. And maybe that was just desensitization to everything that else that goes along with this administration, because every day there's something new and different, and this is happening now, and Iran is 2 weeks away from a nuclear weapon for the last 30 years. And it's just like, enough. We're tired. We are weary, and we don't have it in us to give a shit about you. We don't give a shit about you. And more and more people are starting to come to the realization that this administration is trash. And if this is done to garner sympathy, trash. If this was real, I'm sorry, but you've done so many things that we don't have sympathy for you. And you the way that you have treated the American people, and you ran on America first, and nothing about your administration seems America first, because Americans are steadily suffering from the consequences of your actions. We don't give a shit.
Yeah. I just, like you said, if it was real, then, it was real. But I just really have a hard time believing it. The fact that it was so slow movement, the fact that it just did not feel authentic, to say the least. And if it was real and security lapsed that much, did we not learn from the first assassination attempt on him to boost security?
Or the second one.
Now, not only was he almost nearly assassinated, he decided that he wanted to hold a press conference post-shooting at the White House. And all of the members that were at the dinner were going to be there. He had to say this to you.
And we looked at all of the conditions that took place tonight, and I will say, it's not a particularly secure building. And I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone-proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it. They've wanted the ballroom for 150 years for lots of different reasons, but today's a little bit different, because today we need levels of security that probably nobody's ever seen before.
Now using this as justification for the need of a ballroom at the White House.
They've already got the okay to build this stupid ballroom. You've already torn down the East Wing, so just build your stupid ballroom. Nobody cares. You're going to do what you want to do. If this assassination attempt if it didn't look staged before, now it's like, well, we need a reason to justify the ballroom. So let's have somebody try to kill me.
And all of them were sitting there just smiling at the White House, and I'm just like, so you're not taking this serious? Why should I take this serious then?
I'm not saying that this man, there are people out here who do terrible things all the time or have mental breakdowns. Look at the girl who tried to kill Rihanna and thought that Rihanna was trying to take her life or something, who drove from fucking Florida to California to shoot up Rihanna's house, and she did. So I'm not saying that there aren't people out here that wouldn't attempt to take Trump's life, because that's wholly possible. But on top of that, I'm just saying that we don't care. I don't know how else to say it. That sounds very horrible to say, because I don't think that anyone's life should be taken. Life is very precious. Life is very valuable. At the same time, it's very hard to feel empathy or sympathy for a person who does not show the same things to the people that he has been elected to do so for. So it's just I don't have it. I don't have it. I'm glad no one's dead and no one was injured.
Well, there was one security agent that got shot.
He hit in a vest. Yeah. He's fine. He's gonna recover. He'll be back on the job in no time. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe he was a paid actor.
You don't know.
Like Grubhub or
Grubhub grandma.
Yeah,
whatever her name is. DoorDash
grandma, who has apparently grandma. I don't know if you guys saw this. This is totally off topic.
We talked about it.
Did we? Oh, yeah. Well, DoorDash grandma, who just happened to be delivering at the White House. But it is. That's the thing. Like, they want now us to, as Americans, to believe them and support them. It's like, well, you've been nothing but fools, cowards, and trash towards us Americans.
And terrible.
Even the people that support you, you have been a total disgrace to, but they continue to support you for whatever reason. So I'm sorry, you will get no sympathy.
And that's why all the comments on YouTube, TikTok, and whatever have been like, well, guess what else happened? And this happened.
Laura, that thread on TikTok was hilarious because it's a media channel posting. And people just started saying things like, well, this is what I was doing. And this, in other news, like, people were just like, in other words, we don't care anymore because this has now become part of your DNA as part of this administration now, whether these 3 incidents were real and not staged and paid for. Because when you hear people that support him say, I would take a bullet for him or I would die for him, it's really hard for me to then sit here and believe that
somebody wouldn't be willing to be paid or sent to jail for him,
right?
If that's what if they really believed in him that much,
right? So it really is hard to quantify these things sometimes and show empathy and respect for the office when there just hasn't been any respect within this office since it took over in 2024.
Yeah. So
tell us what you think. Conspiracy or not? Real? Fake? Or was he just trying to get more sympathy for the ballroom?
Let us know in the comments below. But something that is real.
And speaking somebody who's been affected directly by a Trump executive action.
So Caitlyn Jenner popped out of nowhere because she has been quiet. I hadn't heard about Caitlyn Jenner in quite some time. It was like, Trump won, and then she went into hiding, and she knew to keep her mouth shut and just lay low and be quiet and live your life.
Caitlyn's here on a conservative podcast. I forgot the girl's name because she's absolutely.
We're not promoting her podcast.
She's trash. She is so much trash, and I'm surprised she had a trans person on her podcast. But Caitlyn,
but it's Caitlyn Jenner. She's not just a trans person.
That is true. Go ahead, Caitlyn. Tell us what's wrong with your life.
Recently, I had my passport. I had to get it renewed. I sent it back. Comes back gender marker M. Screws everything up. So there's a form in there. If they made a mistake, you can correct it. So I fill out all the proper forms. I'm not calling anybody. I'm not calling the president. I got his personal cell number. I'm not calling anybody. I'm going to see if I can fix this myself. I did everything. And they sent it back M. They didn't change it at all. I don't blame President Trump. I love him. But for a lot of people, this is a huge issue. I was in Mar-a-Lago 2 months ago, wrote a letter explaining all of this to him, how it's affecting me and a lot of other people. And unfortunately, he wasn't there that weekend. Actually, the Secret Service guy said he could get it to him, put it on his desk and stuff. I haven't heard from him. He's kind of busy.
You know, she can't travel internationally because of her passport. First world problems. I cannot travel.
Can we insert a clip of Bernice here?
I'm supposed to feel sorry for that bitch. I don't.
So, for y'all don't know, the Bernice clip is one of my favorite clips on YouTube. Basically, it's the older lady in the wheelchair.
Yes. Okay.
Who this woman took her purse, and she was being interviewed by the news, and they asked if she felt sorry for her. And she said, "You think I'm supposed to feel sorry for that bitch? I don't.
Because I don't.
I don't feel sorry for you, Caitlyn Jenner. I don't.
I don't feel sorry for you one bit. You know who I do feel sorry for? All the trans people that don't have your fucking privilege. All the fucking trans people that don't have your fucking money. That's who I feel bad for. Those are the real trans people that are out here suffering. Even though your passport came back with a male marker on it, you still got money. You still can do whatever the fuck you want in this country.
She can't fly international.
Who the fucking who? There's Prada stores in California. Isn't it also interesting that as a Republican that she is, she still lives in a state that has super protections for trans people?
Yeah.
Coincidence?
My whole shit with her, though, is like, well, you know, it's a security concern. When you haven't helped, piped up, done anything for other trans people, you are concerned about yourself and yourself only.
She supported laws that Trump has put forward that disenfranchise trans people.
Again, this is what privilege looks like. This is when, and I'm talking about white privilege here, because white rich privilege at that. When this is for people who don't understand what privilege is. A trans, Latina, Black, brown person and Caitlyn Jenner could walk into the same store, yet Caitlyn Jenner would get treated like a queen there, and this other person would be looked at, probably followed around the store, ask, "Hey, can I help you with something?" And you like, "No, I'm good." And they can continue to follow you, ask you questions until they make you uncomfortable enough to leave out of the store. This is privilege. You can get up on a podcast, write a letter to the president, because she did.
Right-wing conservative podcast. Like, you can't get more conservative than this girl.
And say and complain that you can't travel overseas because of your passport marker, which is something that he did at the beginning of becoming president. Not that it made America safer, not that it made America first, not that it did anything for America, period. All it did was trying to control, humiliate a population which he ran on wanting to get rid of or destroy.
Right. So the executive action requires all federal documents to have your biological born gender on your documents.
Right.
Which, for whatever reason,
did she miss that part?
She either missed that part or thought, because once again she had privilege, that she would not have been impacted by this particular executive action.
She thought she'd be exempt from this.
She thought she would be exempt because, my golly, you saw the clip. She was very, very surprised that the passport came back with a marker of M.
And what doesn't surprise me, yet again, what did she say? I still support him.
Still supports him. She's not mad at him.
I'm trying to get a hold of him.
She was in Mar-a-Lago.
She
wrote a letter.
What are you going to do? You're going to get a hold of him, and you're going to have your passport exempt and get your marker changed so that you can fly internationally. No. But you won't advocate for other trans people to have the same dignity.
Oh, she said other. She said
others. People. She wasn't talking about you girls. She wasn't talking about y'all. She was talking about other maybe rich white trans that she may know. But she wasn't talking about everybody else.
And the security concern, I know you kind of mentioned it, but the security concern of like, I can't travel international. I'm like, boo the fucking who? Like Anna Navarro said on The View, let me get my small little violin and play it for you, because boo the fucking who, girl. Boo.
I just, again, this is it.
Hypocrisy at its finest, privilege at its finest on display.
This is the embodiment of the anger that people have towards this administration. It's because everybody else that's down here, the people that ICE are rounding up, the people that ICE are taking away, the people who were let go of jobs because y'all got rid of DEI, the thousands of federal workers that were fired because of government overwaste or spending, and like, but yet you could spend money on military or missiles to destroy places in Iran or fund wars for Israel and
buy an airline,
continue to commit genocide against Palestine. Like, all of these things are why people are so tired of this administration and everything that y'all have done. And this is peak privilege, where a trans, white, rich woman, and I'm going to use woman because that is the pronoun. I will not disrespect you, because I believe in respecting people where they are, right? You are a trans woman, and I am going to address you as a trans woman. I will not sit here and call you a man like some other, like your colleagues may call you behind your back or on Fox News or wherever. But this is just peak privilege, and it's just, it shines a light on how blind y'all are. Just simply how fucking blind you are.
Beyond blind. And it just, to hear her boohooing on TV when there is thousands of other trans people out here just fighting for existence, and your concern is just your passport, is really depicting of who you are as a person, and how you don't really want protections for the trans community. You want protections for yourself, because that's what matters. And yes, at the end of the day, we should all take care of ourselves, but also you cannot empower people that are putting out laws that actually directly impact your community. I just don't understand the support still for Trump, in that he one of his first things in office was to sign an executive action to get rid of trans people being able to put their identifiable gender on their passport. Like, girl, like, that should have made you go, what? Like, that, wait, hold up. Well, if you didn't know, I mean, that he was going to do that from beforehand, then you're just stupid in general, because he said he was going to. But like that, like you said, privilege. It's just, you didn't think that was going to impact you. You thought it was going to just impact the trans people that, you know, don't have money, that aren't whites. It's just really frustrating. And I'm glad people are dragging her. Some people are being superly disrespectful about it. I don't stand behind that, but, you know, calling her by her previous name and all that. But it's such a big disrespect to the trans community. And then your concern is about the security of your passport and being able to travel internationally.
I just, like, for Trump in the shooting, like, I don't have it for you. I don't have it for you. You have been a terrible person. You have been a terrible role model. You have been a terrible representative of the community. You have been a terrible advocate for the community. You have been nothing more than acting like the rich, privileged person that you are, and you expect anybody to have sympathy for you. I don't have it. I don't have it.
Yeah. I don't have the sympathy for her either. Like, she could have, from the beginning, as a trans person, been an advocate. I'm not saying you needed to change your political party.
No.
But you could have been a strong advocate in your closeness that you tell us you have with Trump. You could have told him, hey, these things are going to impact my community. And then she went on in the interview to talk about how, I don't know, whoever was under Trump didn't really think this through, this policy. And I'm like, ma'am, That would have been a beautiful time. This is the shit he mentioned on his campaign trail.
Yeah, it's not the first time it popped up. He's been talking about.
So if you had this level of connectedness with him, I'm not saying you didn't need to vote him. That's your fucking prerogative. But you could have provided him with facts. You could have provided him with knowledge. You could have empowered him to change his mind, to really give him an insight of what it is to live as a trans person in our country. Like, you would have gotten so many more points from me.
You would have been celebrated for that. Like, yes, you still voted for Trump and you still fucking roo and rah and stomp for him. But if you were able to get something done for the community, you would have gotten kudos for that.
Right. If we would have changed his mind to where he would have gone in office, or maybe in his campaign trail, dropped all these things about trans people, you would have been a celebrated individual in the community. But instead, you stood silent because you thought that your privilege, your closeness to this man was going to get you exempted from whatever he passed once he went into office. And you woke up and realized that that was not the case. And no empathy from me to you. The only empathy I have is for the trans people that are actually having to fight this each and every day. States are taking away the opportunity for trans people to get the gender affirming care they need. We have opened the box to just diminish and eliminate trans people. And that is all thanks to this administration. And to think that, I'm not saying Caitlyn Jenner could have changed all of this, but I'm saying you could have had a voice of opposition, but still supported him. I don't know how that works, but that's what could have happened. If you would have been able to just share that knowledge, we would be in a different place with trans people right now. Yeah. But now it's too late, and he's not going to reverse course at all. And if it does, that you get privileged and you get your passport the way you want it, I hope it comes out, and I hope it's the downfall of many things in this country. At least when it comes to trans people and all the roadblocks that are being put up for them right now.
Yeah, I don't have anything. I don't have anything for her. I hate how, like, that the one podcast on Best Friends, when the lady was speaking, she was like, he made trans people the scapegoat.
Yeah.
During his campaign trail, he made immigrants the scapegoat. You need someone to focus on, to tell people that because of these people, your life is trash. Right. And he did that to the trans community. He did that to the immigrant community. He did that to the Mexican community. Like, these are the reasons why you don't have money. These are the reasons why you don't have a car, or you can't buy a house. And none of that is true. All of these things fall on him, but
his policies.
You need a bad guy to point to.
You always need a villain.
So
it's like every good movie. Yeah. You need a villain. You need somebody to hate and somebody to root for. And since he was hated from the beginning, he needed to become the hero for certain demographics of people in our country, that when you go ask them, what has he done for you? This is what they say. They say, well, he's banned trans people. He's gotten rid of immigrants. And I'm like, well, how has that made your life any better? And they can never respond an accurate answer, because your groceries still high, your insurance still high, and we still firing people left and right. Because why? The economy is not doing great.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. Do you have any comments about Caitlyn or the shooting? You can leave them for us. If you go to MASXP23, you can find our socials. We're on Instagram. There's a link in our bio where you can ask questions, tell us your stories, all of those things. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe. Tell us how you feel in the comments down below. We
Good or bad.
Really appreciate it, so we can talk about it on a future show.
Absolutely. We're going to get up out of here. Next week, we will be talking about our epic adventure at Epic Universe in Orlando, Florida. I was trying to add epic in there again. Just wasn't happening. Anyways, as we like to say here, do something good for yourself,
and then do something good for someone else.
And we will catch you on the epic next episode. Bye.